This is my free demo on Learning Target 8B. I'll be analyzing a sequential circuit to determine its operation. So this given sequential circuit has two flip-flops, and they are JK flip-flops. It has a clock, a clear, and a set. This sequential circuit is an elevator, and it goes from the ground floor to the third floor. We have our x1 and x0 inputs. This would dictate which floor we want to proceed to. And here are our given Boolean equations, our J1 and our K1 for our F flip-flop 1. And for our flip-flop 0, we have J0 and K0, and those are the two equations over there. I've enabled the values so we can see how this sequential circuit works. Now let's go take a look at the state diagram. We see here that we have a simple diagram that says if we are on the ground floor, and let's say we want to go to the third floor, the given user will input 1, 1, which represents him pushing a button, he or she, and that will take them to the third floor. So ground, they click the third floor, they input 1, 1, it goes to the first floor, follows that 3, second floor, and finally to the third floor. Now let's say someone clicks floor 1. In a given circuit, you type 0, 1 to represent the first floor. If you're on the third floor, it follows the input of 1, which goes to our next state of 2, and finally our next state of the first floor by the given 1. Now let's test this whole entire process here in LogicWorks, and let's clear everything up. So our first one is that we want to go to the very third floor. Now what should happen is our Q0 should be 1, and it should display at 1 on the next positive clock pulse. So as you see here, it displays at 1, and on the next clock pulse it should display at 2. And finally it should display our third floor, which will give Q1 and Q0 both 1. And there we go. Now say the given user wants to go to the first floor. The given input for the first floor was 0, 1, and on the next given clock pulse it should go to the first floor. So Q1 should be 1, Q0 should be 0. You can also see here in the given outputs on next clock pulse, which is negative triggered, it gives us a 2. And as you see here, our Q1 is being activated. Now on the next clock pulse, Q0 should be activated and Q1 should be 0. So we look here for our flip-flops and we can see that change occur. There we go. Now another thing, looking at our state diagram, we see that if a user presses the same floor that they are on, they will stay at that given floor. So let's go test that out. So we see here that if the user is at the first floor and they want to stay at that first floor, or they click that floor, it should just let them stay there. So let's go see if that works. And there is no change occurring as it follows in our state diagram. We can also test this out with the ground floor. So we'll go all the way down to the ground floor, which is 0, 0. We'll see this display all zeros, and we can look here at our flip-flops too to see that given change. As you see, the given change occurred. Now on the next clock pulse, we should see that there will be no change since we are at the ground floor and the given input is the ground floor. As you see, the ground floor is referring back to itself, so there is no change since they're already at that floor. That is my sequential circuit that I just analyzed of a simple elevator that uses two flip-flops It's routed to a clock. It has a clear. And it has two given inputs.